Hi, my name is Kelsey Warren, and this is an extra credit project for Earth Planetary Space Sciences 15 on ocean acidification, and it's for week 10. So why is ocean acidification occurring? It's occurring mainly because of the increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. And that's because our world per capita energy consumption is increasing, like you can see in this graph. And that's because these natural resources, when we burn them, they produce CO2. And in this diagram, you can see the normal cycles of carbon in the ocean and how the ocean uptakes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And so the ocean can uptake about 30% of the CO2 that's released into the atmosphere. And you can see from this graph that that released CO2 into the atmosphere is increasing dramatically in the last couple hundred years. And so this is the chemical reaction about why ocean acidification is occurring as a result of increased atmospheric carbon dioxide. And you can see this reaction where atmospheric carbon dioxide is turned into carbonic acid and then into bicarbonate ions and then into carbonate ions. And the H+ molecules you can see here are protons or hydrogen ions, and those increase the acidity of the ocean. So how does this impact humans? So you can see in this diagram that carbonate is less available for forming calcium carbonate when it becomes bicarbonate ions, and calcium carbonate is an important component of the ocean, as you'll see in a second. And so why does acidity matter? Acidity is a super important condition for maintaining healthy levels of life. And for us, for humans, we have a very specific blood pH that we need to maintain. And pHs outside of our normal range are dangerous to us. So like I was talking about the calcium carbonate before, organisms like clams, oysters, and mussels, and the other organisms on this page use calcium carbonate in their life processes. And so clams, oysters, and mussels are expected to grow less shell by 25%, which is a significant amount. Coccolithophores and coral, starfish, and urchins are also highly affected. And this affects us in the long term because our sea life, not only do we rely on it for fish and eating fish as food and as a protein source, they also affect terrestrial ecosystems. You can see the bird who eats marine life in the diagram on the left, as well as affecting the photosynthesis of phytoplankton, which we rely on for oxygen. So some solutions for tackling ocean acidification. I kind of broke it down into 3 ideas of mitigating climate change, holding fossil fuel companies accountable, and providing resources to the most affected communities. So first, for mitigating climate change, the important, I broke this down into 4 categories. It's important to use your vote as your voice to elect climate leaders who will put policies in place to mitigate climate change. Transition towards renewable energy. Again, that's more on a voting kind of scale, but also in your own life. Reducing your water consumption and taking small everyday actions like eating less meat and things like that. The next step is holding fossil fuel companies accountable. These are just some of the big names for fossil fuel companies, and it's time for them to pay up basically because they're profiting from themselves causing ocean acidification. And then you can see on this graph kind of where different ocean pH levels are on the globe. So you can see where some at-risk communities are, mainly in higher latitudes. And this map is also a really cool resource I found. Basically, there's a social vulnerability score, and then also these indices to see how favorable water is to shellfish based on ocean acidification. So you can kind of check out this map to see where most at-risk communities are. And that's it. So thank you for watching, and hopefully that helped clear anything up about ocean acidification. And here are my resources. Thank you.